I am going live with Amy from Starlight Photos. I'm just trying to pin our comment here.
Hi.
Hey!
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, these are not working. So let me take them out.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my headphones in just because people are sleeping and stuff, and I don't want to like have it so loud. So, hi
Okay.
everybody.
I'm just trying to pin our comment. There we go. Okay, pinned. Yay.
Yay.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I was just on here, so everyone's probably like, what the heck?
She's
I was just
back.
like getting off. I'm back it's like 3 seconds later. I'm like, I'm really tired. I have to go. And then I'm like, back.
Well, I wanted to like join with you earlier, but I was doing some stuff with the family, so I'm glad you popped back on. So hi everybody,
Yeah.
I'm Amy from Starlight
Hey,
Photos
everyone.
here with Celeste. So welcome everybody, right?
Amy, can you see all the comments too, or just
Yeah, I
me?
can. Yeah, it's nice to see everybody.
Okay,
So
good.
hi everybody, I think we're just waiting for some people to join. And then we're going to just visit and chat. Celeste and I talked forever yesterday about law of attraction, manifesting, synchronicities. So we thought we would bring it over here just to Instagram Live and visit with everybody. Okay, so
I know, I was just talking about it, and then I asked her, I'm like, you want to go on live? And I'm like, well, I'm going to go on live anyways. And then she's like, well, come on now. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back on.
Right, right. So you were talking about manifesting earlier, right? And how things were lining up and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. So another aspect of manifesting is the synchronicities, and it's really cool because there's so much there's so many misconceptions, I guess, around manifesting and law of attraction and how it works. But the basis of it, at least in my experience and what's worked for me, is to tune in with your soul frequency, your like your path in life, if you will. So getting really centered, focused, and clear on your own vibration and what you want out of life, and then feeling it. And also, in addition to like having a dream, a wish, and a desire, there's some action that needs to be involved, putting some intention behind it. And somebody's talking about self-confidence. Yeah, that's a part of it too. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
And the most interesting thing that you really blew my mind yesterday when we were talking, and I tried to talk about it on my last live that I did, but I don't know if I had the right wording, which Amy sometimes I can't get my thoughts out, and then Amy says exactly what I'm trying to say. So was when I needed the notebook, and then the notebook just appeared 5 seconds
Yes.
later. So
Okay.
I'll tell you a little backstory, which I just talked about on my live. Basically, I really needed a notebook. I was running late for class, and then I walked upstairs and on this free table, and there was a notebook there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. So then Amy, had this thing that went along with it, so you can explain what you told me.
Yeah.
I thought that was so interesting.
Yeah, so if everybody, if you haven't met me, if we haven't met before, I'm clairvoyant and I channel energy and I do readings and stuff. So sometimes I'll get messages just downloaded, and that's what happened yesterday when we were talking about it. And so the way that I was seeing it is that when we're in alignment and we really need things and we put that vibration out there, that it can manifest so quickly. And it's almost like the epiphany that I had was okay, how did that notebook get there? So somebody in the future or in a higher frequency had to have seen that there would be a need in the future for it, and then somehow got it there. So obviously they probably gave somebody a message, prompting to, hey, you don't need this, go put it there. And then it was perfect because Celeste really needed it for her class. It was really important and you didn't have the time. And so we were talking about how these other aspects have happened in my life and in close friends and family's lives where you just if you're in your alignment, if you're on your path, that things will actually manifest for you and help you to continue being in your highest vibrational alignment. And so for you, it's super important, the schooling that you're doing. It's a huge part of your life and a role that you'll be playing here. It's a huge part of your life mission, I should say. So to be able to support that was really, really nice. Oh, people are chatting. What are they saying?
And I thought it was so interesting how you were saying, like how somehow like in the future someone must have known that and that it lined up. Like that was the part where I was like, whoa, like that's really interesting. It's almost like, did I tap in? Like, like how does that stuff happen? Because it wasn't until
Exactly.
like an hour before. Well, actually, days before I thought about it, but then I never took action on getting it, and somehow it just like lined up. Which this is like a really, really small instance, and you guys are probably like, why is she so crazy
A
about wanting a
notebook.
notebook? But when you think of something and it just like appears like that, it is almost like magic. Like you're working with some kind of invisible frequency that you can't see and that just hears your thoughts and your wishes, and it's like stuff just appears
Right,
everywhere.
right, exactly. So an example, I don't know if she's on, but my daughter, because this is what we're talking about, is like manifesting, and especially the new kids, you know, like the young kids that are really in alignment. So yesterday, my daughter's like, "Hey, she just thought to herself or to the universe, God, whatever. She's like, when she woke up, yeah, I'd really like to get a babysitting job tonight. I don't have any plans. That would be great." And then within a couple of hours, somebody had referred her to a brand new babysitting family and client, and it just happened immediately. So I have teenagers, and it's amazing for me to see them like manifesting and just putting it out into the universe and having it delivered to them so quickly. And I think somebody was mentioning like self-confidence. I think that's a part of it, you know, like just not having a doubt and knowing, like having that faith and trust in a way, but you're carrying it with you. So it's not like you have to sit and tell yourself these things. It's just the vibration and how you carry yourself, and you're carrying this with you. And so children are so magical, right? And if we encourage them and we don't put them down or discourage them, and just really talk to them a lot about the messages that they're getting, their what they're feeling for their future, it's like I'm consistently learning lessons from them. So that was one from them. And then you were talking about the notebook, and it's just like being in perfect alignment with what is going to help us. And so to get there, you have to totally just trust the energy around you, be in the flow if you want, and also the things that you are requesting. Just from my experience, I'm a past life hypnotherapist, so like we delve into hypnosis and we ask questions of guides sometimes, and one of the things that came through one time was that if it's in alignment with your life path, then it will come forward. So if you set up your life to be a ballerina, and then you're like, hey, I want to be an NFL football player or something, you know what I mean? Like it won't flow as well as if you really stayed in the right alignment with what you at the soul level selected for yourself before you came in. So it's really this whole holistic experience, how all these different angles will support each other. And then the synchronicities for me, like the synchronicities and seeing that notebook for you, just like boom, there it was, like just manifest so fast and so
And that's
perfectly.
like, well, and that's an interesting aspect too, that we actually do set up everything before we're born. And so your soul on a higher level already knows every single thing, like, you're going to go through
Mm-hmm.
if you stay on the path. But like you can get off, there's so many different paths, but
Yeah.
that's an interesting aspect, that you pick your family and your friends and your soul group, and you know what you're going to do.
Right. Yeah, and you'll know, like people know, and the more you listen and trust your intuition, you'll know when you're on your path and when you're off of your path. And I know like many of us, I'm sure, like I myself many times have gone off my path and felt it. And I'm just like, something's not right. Things aren't flowing, you know what I mean? It's like it's time to, just like go into meditation or clear my mind and get back with my life, like my intentions. A lot of times for me it was kind of just when I would get sidetracked because I would listen to other people's belief systems or what they wanted or who they thought I should be. And I was like, that's not me. So,
And what about listening to like synchronicities, and like also we were talking about yesterday, like synchronicities with orders of events that happen, to where if you're tuned into your intuition, it's almost like you're actually creating this painting and manipulating, not manipulating, but creating the reality. So since matter can always be changed and is ever changing, like if you look at this wall behind me or whatever you want, if you look at any thing on the earth with a microscope, it's vibrating and moving at a very small level. So you're constantly
yeah.
changing the reality, and your intuition, like when we were talking yesterday, Amy, about the, everything, the story that I was telling you, which I won't get into
Yeah.
here. about how, oh, okay, I'm gonna walk in and talk to this person, and then okay, I'm gonna pass this test and get this shift and this, all these life events you can reflect back on, and actually, when you're tuned into your intuition, can lead you to like pretty cool places, and
Yeah.
that's what um, you know, we're trying to help you guys tune into and like train you, because then your life becomes really cool and you're like, it's more magical. Like you just see magic in everyday things. You're like, oh, there's magic. Oh, there's magic. Instead of this, remember yesterday, you're like cracking up, like eat, sleep, poop, die, eat, sleep, poop, die.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have to be so, like boring and one thing after another. Yes, there's little magical moments, especially when we know how, like, I find that when we see them and recognize them and appreciate them, then it's like more and more flow our way. Do you know what I mean? So again, that's just giving acknowledgement to whatever you want to call it, like if it's your higher self, if it's just the vibration you put out, how you're attracting, if you are a believer of spirit guides and angels and that maybe they're aligning stuff for you, or God, whatever the terminology, or whoever, whatever power it might be. Just for me, like the more I recognize it with gratitude, say, oh my gosh, and just like those little magical moments where for me sometimes I feel like I'm a kid again. It's like that joy that fills your heart. You're like, what, did this just happen?
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah, like this little
I
thing.
felt like the other day when we were in Vegas, like I felt like we were like little kids at that place.
Oh,
Like we're like,
so
oh,
fun.
this it is like the Alice in Wonderland like tea party or whatever you want to call it. It's like
Yes.
this stuff everywhere. It's just as off subject. Sometimes I'm like ADD when I talk to her.
Oh, yeah.
I like go everywhere.
It's all good. Yeah, it was really
And
fun. But that's another thing, right? So Celeste and I have been friends, I don't know how long, like years, just talking on the phone and here on Instagram. And finally, I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Vegas. And she's like, I am too. And it was just like perfect timing that we could meet. You know what I'm saying? So again, it was another synchronicity, just how your schedule fit right in with my schedule. It was, and I was only there a short period of time. And
yeah,
same for you. It was like, boom. That was so cool.
yeah. And I can't always do that like often. I'm just you know how my life is.
Yeah.
So, but that weekend was like perfect. There was just nothing I was worried about. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can go.
Yeah. It was
Um,
awesome. I know I'm reading some of these
Let me
comments.
see. I know, I was just about to read it. It says, do you guys think personal karma affects the law of attraction? I've been trying to manifest a new environment to live in, but it will not work.
Ah, that's a great.
Let's not get into my you wanna go for that one?
Yeah. I took a really awesome class on karma, and because I like the way that I see it with energy therapy and stuff, like that you can call them cords of karma. So there's cords or connections that will tie people to certain events or past lives or other members, in their life, other people in their life. So yeah, I feel like it goes right along with cleaning up like doing your own work to clear your energy. So making things right, or and it's like really tricky sometimes if it's a past life to really get a handle on what it is, but we can all have some sort of understanding about that if we go into meditation, if we like journal, and then that can turn into a form of automatic writing, ask our guides and get signs, and also our intention. So if we're just like asking and putting it out there that we want to clear some karma, and there's a few exercises and like little rituals and stuff that you could do that would be really sacred to you to help you clear that. But it's part of clearing the energy that's influencing you and affecting you. And you can look at it like subconscious programming or a vibration from the past, whatever it might be. So in that regard, yes, it can kind of tie over. So if you clean all of that up, then it definitely will help you like beyond your flow so much easier. And that's when the magic happens, is like when you're in your highest vibrational alignment and able to pop into the highest timeline. So when I say timeline, is like every thought, decision, feeling, and emotion we have creates a timeline, and then our intention and our actions can bring us into that space. So it's like there's infinity for timelines. There's just so many. But when we're vibrating at a higher frequency, and our soul frequency is what I would call it, kind of above the matrix or above like everything that's happening in society or getting all caught up in earth stuff, then we tap into that like magic space, and then that's where like all the synchronicities and everything will start to flow.
You have to watch. You have to watch my last live. Like
Really? Were you just
literally
saying
this
all of
song.
this? No way.
No, but in different wording. Like I use the terms of like an airplane instead of like a car like going through sludge. Like
Nice.
I always use metaphors.
Yeah.
But but yeah, another way to go through the karma or, transmute it, I guess would be the right word, is meditation.
Yeah.
So if you have like a lot of karma, then I learned through the SRF or whatever that through Kriya Yoga, which everyone has their own path, so whatever yours is, I don't care if you're Buddhist or whatever your path is, if you chant, if you meditate, whatever in your or even if you do like work like where you're giving or of service, like service work, then you're always transmuting that past karma that you could have. So
Yeah,
but I
absolutely.
learned through meditation, but I'm pretty sure you can do it. What do you think about that, Amy? Do you think you can?
Yeah, you
Uh-oh.
can.
Is there a connection problem?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
No, it's better now. I saw like a little circle, but then, okay, so what were you going to say?
No, that's why I love talking to you because we both have like a really different backgrounds, but maybe the wording's a little bit different or the way we were trained was different, but it all creates the same cleansing effect. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. Yeah, I totally agree. Like any form of meditation, because from my perspective, from being an energy healer, when you meditate, you raise your vibration and you kind of burn off sludge, like you were saying, sludge or toxic vibrations or any low vibes in your field. And when I do it, I like to work with an ascended master or an archangel or, a guide in that way to ask them to like pinpoint, because I ask them a lot, like, okay, well, I feel there's karma. What's it related to? And can we clear it? And what should I do? And so mantras are great. Somebody was talking about like, how can you clear chakras? Sound healing is working like really beautifully. And there's a lot of pre-recorded sound healing meditations, or you can get Tibetan bowls, or you can do drumming, or you can get crystal bowls, you know what I mean? But like the mantras, those hold sacred sounds and tones in them that will raise
What
you.
about this question? How can I heal emotions that cause me to overeat excessively?
Oh yeah.
Do you have anything?
Well, it really depends like what the emotions are sourced in. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a question that you could dig really deep with. I know, so maybe it depends on like what foods. Like I think, isn't it Louise Hayes' book, You Can Heal Your Life, I think it is, that talks about cravings and habits or addictions and what it means. So I might reference to that, like what type of food are you trying to, but also like Ayurvedic medicine, would that have anything to do with that? Do they talk about that in?
Well, I know that whenever you overeat, like you were saying, it can be going back to Louise Hay and all these things, it can add on a layer of protection. So the
Mm-hmm.
real question is, what are you protecting yourself from? When people have extra layers on their body, they're cushioning themselves. They're putting a boundary between them and their sensitivity. They could be very, very,
Yeah.
very sensitive souls, so sensitive that in a trauma happened, and then they have this boundary or this layer of between them and the world. And so um, going through everything that I've been through in my life with eating patterns, I would say I'm trying to think what helped me the most. Um, just tuning into your vibration and really aligning. And I always go back to meditation, but that's probably what did help me the most, because I noticed when I meditated and started running and doing all these things, and then and when you start to align with your higher self, you don't really want to put toxic things into your body
Right.
anymore. Instead, me and Amy, we're at the, I'm all for desserts and everything. We're at like the Vegas buffet, like both having our little like cakes and whatever else, so I'm all about it, but like everything in moderation. So you can still indulge or whatever. It's just like everything in moderation. But I do notice people putting sorry, I'm like scrolling back
Yeah, there's a lot of
up
comments.
to the
A lot of great comments from
there's
you
so
guys. Thank you. Yeah.
let me see. Okay, so let me scroll back up a little bit. But yeah, that's what you referenced, or you said Louise Hay, and the question was, how can I heal emotions that cause me to overeat excessively? So if you start to meditate and just love yourself, and Louise Hay takes you through that self-love, listen to Abraham Hicks, and you do all these
Yeah.
things that get you in a higher vibration, and then eventually you'll see that this eating is actually a circle of could be a circle of almost torment for you, whether you have bulimia or anorexia or an eating disorder where you're very like, you know, where you're bigger, like there's something underneath all of that. And underneath all of that, everyone only really wants love, and they want to be loved, and they want to feel love. They want to feel love in their heart. And when you're not getting that from the external world, then where can you get that, you know, meditation and feeling that love and that inner bliss
Yes.
on the inside?
Yes.
Which in return will make you disconnect from having that external source, like, I need to eat this to feel good. And also, when you turn to something, it's really covering up an emotion. Like, I noticed if I'm feeling overly, you know, an emotion I don't want to feel, what can you go for? You know, and you can try, you know, Xing things out that you are going for, whether it's processed sugar, because, and switching your diet overall. But, okay, let me go back up here.
Okay, yeah.
So many things.
Also, like one of the modalities that I really like for releasing emotions is the emotional freedom technique, so tapping, EFT, and that's been around for a while, and I think you can get, I know when it first came out, there was like free, this was like years ago, girl, you know, there was free downloads on the internet. There probably still are, you know, like that walk you through the process. So that's one thing you could try that too. It's EFT. I really have had a good experience with that a long time ago, but still, like, I've heard a lot of good things about it. So let's see, people are like typing.
I was at the one of these conferences a long time ago, one of the Hay House ones, and they all started, the EFT guy was there, I forget his name, like the one who kind of wrote the book and everything. And then I saw like Louise Hay and I think Cheryl Richardson, and they started doing EFT with the whole crowd, I think in two different things, and you know what that is, like,
yeah, you tap,
so
yeah.
You start out with a fear, and then you there's a whole process, so I'm not going to go through it right now, but
look it up,
can
right?
go online
on
YouTube.
Yeah, look it up because it's pretty
That's
powerful. Because it's like it's releasing the programming from your cellular structure and your energetic system. So it was really helping you as a whole to clear that and get the energy flowing. And I liked what you were saying about like meditating and also exercising, because both of them get the energy moving and flowing, and it helps you physically, but it also helps you energetically with your light body, so your aura and your chakras, to get the energy flowing through, which will flush stuff out and just really purify and cleanse your field and your chakra system. So eating healthy, meditating, exercising, getting enough sleep so you can integrate all of your, like what I want to call it, on your call, how should I call it, the transition that you're going through. So sleep is really important because it helps the cells and the energy to assimilate.
What about this one, Amy? Is there anything I can do to help my solar plexus?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And one more comment. So the tapping guy's name is Nick Ortner. Someone said it in the chat.
Cool.
That's his name if you guys want to go into Nick Ortner. He's like the guy. But anyway, so yeah, is there anything to do to help my solar plexus?
Yeah. So first of all, you would try and discern, like, is your solar plexus underactive or underactive or overactive? So is it depleted or like supercharged up? So what is the cause? What's going on? And as energy therapists, I would look to see if the structure of the chakra was in alignment, like if it's damaged or not. But so if it's underactive, then easy things would be to focus on the color yellow, do some affirmations for the solar plexus. Eating yellow fruits and veggies will really help you. If it's overactive, then you would kind of do the opposite. So you would say, like, on the color wheel, what's the opposite of yellow? Isn't it like purple? I'm thinking purple or blue or something. So then you would increase that color instead. And then there's different, like, I don't have it on memorized, but there's different mantras you can do. There's different aromatherapies, like essential oils for different chakras. There's different foods. There's different yoga poses. So I would just look into all of that. But I think you'd want to study that chakra and really find out, like, is it overactive or underactive first? And anytime you're working with a chakra, like, one of the things that I do is I just start with a cleanse first. So asking to release any cords or excess energy that doesn't belong to me that's in my field. So just like do a really good cleanse to start off, and then.
Amy.
Is it glitching?
Oh, sorry. I'll say after. No.
Okay. Go ahead.
One of the girls said, have you ladies ever done a woman's retreat? And I just thought it was funny because we were talking about, like, in the future doing all that stuff, like, down the road.
Yeah, when we were in Vegas.
Or having a retreat, but.
Yeah, that would be really fun. We've thought about it, yeah. when we were in Vegas, we talked about it quite a bit. So down the road, it would be really nice. Yellow cake, Elijah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so funny. So this is what I tell everybody. That's why you're saying just kidding. So it needs to be like live, like fruits and veggies. You know what I'm saying? And organic is the best. So Doritos doesn't count for orange. You know what I mean? Like artificial stuff doesn't really count. So that's really
Are you
funny.
sure?
Yeah. Um,
What about any good book recommendations on your end?
oh gosh, I've read so many books, girl. I guess it would be like, what's the topic? Do you know what I mean? Um, for the emotional stuff earlier, The Emotion Code is a good book. For chakras, it just depends like how deep you want to get into them. For a practitioner, if you're going to that level, I love Barbara Brennan's Hands of Light is a really good book. And then her other one, Light Emerging, is really good. But you know what? I just think whenever I needed a book or knowledge, it always found me. Do you know what I mean? So just put it out there, whatever you're going through, and then just see. And sometimes you'll get a book and you'll just open it, and all you need in it is one sentence or a chapter. Do you know what I mean? So, so yeah, it just kind of depends on what type of. If they want to say like a book and what subject, then I could maybe talk to that a little bit more. But I don't know. Do you have any books, Celeste? Like any that you've read lately that?
Every live that I do, people ask about books, so like I should honestly just put them in my bio.
Dude,
Like,
yeah, I had a link on my website. I don't know if it's still up, which is amysikarskie.com. But we should just do a live one day where we go through. I mean, my bookshelf's in the other room, but it's covered in books. You know, it's just like wow, all these books.
I always feel like there's like doubles, like watching it, and I'm like, is this getting redundant? But I always say all the Paramahansa Yogananda books. I even told Amy that.
Yes.
I'm like, have you read Autobiography of a Yogi yet? And she's like, I think my husband has, but I need to. So
Yeah.
everyone, that one, other Paramahansa, I always say the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita. Bruce Lipton, Biology of Belief. Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life.
I love Greg Braden too. Greg Braden's good.
Greg Braden.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's something to talk about is that 10,000 people vibrating at a certain frequency.
Oh,
Do you know about
yeah.
that?
Well, I've heard it, but I've like totally forgot the actual number. But there is like this tipping point when when this number is reached, it creates this huge ripple effect of energy across the whole world, you know, that brings everybody up a level in consciousness. So, oh yeah, they're saying like Colette Burn Reed, Denise Lynn, soul coaching. Yeah, I really liked Be Your Own Shaman when I was getting into all of this. I forget who wrote that. Oh, it's so horrible. Years ago, girl. Oh my gosh, years ago. I love all of the Dr. Brian Weiss and Michael Newton books on past lives. Love, it's like
The Lives Master.
yes, love those books. I found like such deep level healing just in reading and clicking, and all this information came to me to help me like heal relationship issues. And this all happened like years ago in my 20s, but they're really, really impactful for me. So I'd recommend those for sure.
Wayne Dyer, The Secret.
Yeah.
The Dark.
I know, I'm like trying to look at my bookshelf over there. Like, oh, what is there? I mean, there's just like so many.
Honestly, I gave you guys all the gems already. So,
Yeah.
besides Eckhart Tolle, like, is
Do you know?
and I usually give them people live.
Yeah, I really loved Sonia Show's Ket, Ask Your Guides, but I loved hers on the audio version when she's talking. And it was going through a really like up and down kind of emotional period in my life when I listened to it. And I just felt so much love coming from that book. I really, really loved that book. So that was a really great one. And oh, who is it? Is it Albert Vidali? I know I'm saying it wrong. And he has like the Four Winds Society. I think it's in Colorado. And he has wrote books on shamanism, which were really, really interesting. I always found those were really interesting. So, oh, did he just say that right here?
Love in the chat. Everyone's like, I love you guys.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
It's so nice in the chat.
Elijah just put it on here. That's so funny. I'm a be mystic. That's who I was talking about. I didn't even see your comment, and that's who I was talking about. Yeah, he has great books
What
too.
is the book called?
Elijah, do you remember the name? I'd have to go look over at my bookshelf, but Alberto Villodi.
Which is he in this main chat or is he in a different one?
Oh.
Are we on more than this one?
No, this is it.
Are you on more than one?
I just know his real name. Okay, that's why.
I never know that. She goes on like 20 lives at once. So
no, I'm only on this one. I'm I'm only on
Am
the.
I missing a comment?
No, it's Amma the Mystic. That's my friend Elijah. So yeah, so that's a book, and I forget, but that's a really cool. And then I really enjoyed what's his name? Melchizedek, Druvalo Melchizedek. Some of his books, I really enjoyed those. And I would get them on Audible and just listen to them on road trips and stuff because, I'm a mom and the last time I sat down and read a book, I can't even tell you when I like sat down and read a book. So I'm always multitasking. So, but yeah, so let's see. Do you see any questions, Celeste, that you're feeling called to?
I did. Let me see. Does it mean I need to open my psychic abilities more if I only get one-worded answers and sometimes sentences? Also, who could it be communicating with me?
Ah,
How does telepathy work with deceased loved one? How do you connect with people's past lives? Oh, that's a good one. Let's do that one. How do you connect with people's
okay.
past lives?
Yeah, I saw that one too. Well, okay, so for myself, like it started happening when I was doing energy therapy on clients. And I don't know if anybody's ever had like energy therapy session where you can feel, how do I want to say it? Like the pressure in the room shifts and you kind of pop into a different dimension. So I like physically, I feel like I left my body or was remote viewing or something. But I would start to go into past lives and see where they had an injury or a trauma, and that was directly related to whatever was being healed in that moment in the physical body. So as a therapist, that's one way that I did it. It's just you kind of float in and then you see 3D reality around you like you're in a hologram. But for wants to um, past life regression is amazing. So find a hypnotherapist that does past life regression. And of course, I would recommend one that's been trained in it. So I trained with the Newton Institute, but Dr. Brian Weiss has a good program. Dolores Cannon did. I don't know if it's still like around or going since she crossed over already. But that's a really good thing to do, like a past life regression. But you can also do meditations too. So if you kind of get, like somebody's talking about like maybe a one-word message, like I always used to just write messages down because when your intuition is new and activating and opening, sometimes it just comes in little pieces. Sometimes they're little pieces to the puzzle. And that's what happened to me. I was getting flashbacks of another life, and then I had my regression and everything, like all the missing pieces filled in. So it was really cool. So I would totally recommend that. But before anybody does a past life regression, I would say read a little bit about it if you want, like study about it. So Michael Newton, Brian Weiss, love their stuff. So Weiss, Weiss, I think. Is that how you spell it? Brian Weiss? Yeah.
Someone said, when are your Starseed books coming out on audio, Amy? She has books on
Y'all are
Starseed.
calling me out on that. I don't know, because I wanted to read them.
Amy.
So I was halfway.
We want your voice recorded for 8 hours so we can listen to it in our car.
So I recorded Activating the Starseed like halfway through, but I think I want to redo it. So I'm getting used to it. Like I want it to be my voice, but then I was kind of thinking, how can I distinguish between when I'm talking and when the councils are talking, which are my guides as channeled? So like, how can I distinguish? So maybe I need to change my voice up. So honestly, like, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I'm just.
I think you should just record your own voice.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
Ah. Oh my gosh.
Are we glitching?
The live is lots of energy coming through here.
It's like boom.
Pause.
So I want to.
I can't hear you. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Oh, it's reconnecting.
Okay. Can you hear us, guys? Who can you hear?
I can hear you, but it's kind of blurred. And are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm just.
We might have to hang up
and pop back on.
We might have to hang up and then go do a restart, or maybe can you hang up and then call back in, or no? Do I have to end the whole thing, or can we just
let me try.
Do it that way?
Let me try. Yeah, I'll try one sec.
Okay, because on my end, it's blurred out. Okay, let's see here. Just me. Okay, there's Starlight sent you another request. Okay, add. So let's see, waiting on Starlight photos. Sorry, it was like really, yeah, completely just, are you there? Or I can see you now, but talk for a sec so you make sure it's normal. Oh no, now I can't hear it. I remember one time when her and Dharma did a live, and this like happened like 72 times. Oh, you couldn't hear, I couldn't hear you either. Try again. Oh, they're saying they heard us, but we have to hear each other or we can't. Okay, so try to come on again, and then if it doesn't work, then I'll have to end it and restart it. Okay, so request, view, add, waiting for Starlight. I can hear you. Let's just see the clarity here. Oh no, now I can't hear you. You can't hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm just gonna start over this whole chat, guys, because it's like I'm just gonna end this, but we'll be right back on. So all of you that are in here, yeah, but it's you guys are saying that it's fine, but if I can't hear her, then we can't do the back and forth chat. So it doesn't make any sense. So we will be back in like 2 minutes. Okay, guys? I'm ending, but we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Hi everybody, welcome back. We were having just a little technical difficulty there. So, there we go. So we're gonna just let Celeste pop on. Hi, so welcome back. We're gonna try and go, if I can invite Celeste on to my channel, maybe that will help. It's so weird, it was working just fine and then all of a sudden like we couldn't hear each other. So maybe this will fix it. If not, we'll have a backup plan. So we will wait for Celeste to come on. So hi everybody, hello, hello. We're so glad you guys are coming back onto the live. So thanks for being here. And I don't even remember what we were talking about. So y'all have to remind us like what happened. What were we talking about when it started going off? So if anybody's joining, this is part 2. And if you're watching the replay, then you can pop on over to Divine Ethereal Energy after and watch part 1. So I'm just going to put her stuff right there. Oh, let me delete some of that while we're waiting for her. That was my announcement in the feed. So we'll just put like this. There we go. So, all right, cool. And so thanks everybody. Where's everybody from? I'm here in Texas. And let's see. It's kind of late, but that's how it rolls. Let's see. Okay, yep. So we're just waiting for Celeste to come on. And so when she pops in, then we'll bring her over. But we were talking, oh, she still can't hear. That's weird, girl. Can everybody else hear me? She's saying she can't hear me. Click your volume, Celeste. Yeah, everybody's answering me, so I think they can hear me. Yeah, let's see, let's ask her if she maybe has another device. Celeste, do you have another device? How do you request? Oh, now she can hear. Now you can hear. Okay, so to request, scroll up or send a wave. Like I just sent a hand signal. Oh, wait, you know what? I can pop you on here. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to request you. And then you'll just accept the request and come back in.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I can hear you. Oh, I'm so excited. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I hope it wasn't my phone the whole time. Like, did I just have the volume down? I don't know.
I don't know. That happened like the other time we were trying, but it was my end. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, yeah, because you couldn't hear me either, right?
Yeah, it was so weird. It was just like
Yeah,
random.
so it must have been like both. And then it was like also like pausing. It was being really weird.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody for coming back. If you just joined, we're just catching back up. We got logged off or whatever, the internet connection. And we're chatting about manifesting and answering questions about past lives. And what else were we talking about? Energy work, everything fun.
Yeah, everyone was putting like a lot of questions in, and we were talking, the last thing was your audiobook, and then it like cut off, but there was a lot more questions.
Yeah, that's really funny. We were talking about audiobook and then our audio cut off. Like, that was like really weird. So yeah, I don't know
Bizarre.
if the audiobooks will be ready. Oh, I wanted to do Whisper Sync. And when you do Whisper Sync, you have to read the book verbatim, like word for word. And so it's a little bit more challenging too, because I was like, how can I make it them know it's a quote? You know what I mean? So, but anyways, hi. So welcome back, everybody. Thanks for asking about the books. I wrote a couple of books. I've written probably 3 books, but the ones everybody's talking about are Messages from the Councils and then Activating the Starseed. And they're on Amazon, so you can check them out or go to my website through the link in my bio. So yeah, distractions. Yes, just little distractions, but we are back. So, so thanks everybody for
And it's
being
not,
here.
someone wrote it's Mercury retrograde, but Mercury retrograde's over, I think. So
It
can't blame
ended
it on
today.
that.
Yeah, I think it ended today. I know. Now it's just our own. So,
I don't know what it was.
right.
Um,
I'm
yeah,
wondering
so
if you guys had a question, like for a topic that could kind of help everybody, that we
more
can
like,
chat.
yeah, for everyone, not like personal questions, but more like a general,
Because
like,
I'll come in like almost every other Friday or every Friday I'll be on and I'll do questions like readings for people. So if you're new, you can pop back in on Fridays. But right now, just general questions so that we all can have a discussion and learn from each other and just like share stories and stuff. So I need like a drink of water. Hold on. Ah.
I know. I was like, I have to make some lemonade to like do another live because I did one earlier. I'm like, I
Yeah.
need some like lemon and
Well, do you want to explain to everybody why you choose lemon?
sugar. Mm.
Is it like the
Well,
pineapple?
lemon, it activates your liver, and it, like in Chinese medicine, like your liver stores the blood. So then when your blood starts to disperse because it's activated, you could get more energy. And then sugar, obviously, because
Because it's midnight here in Texas and like 10 where you
yeah,
are.
because
Right?
obviously it's 10 o'clock at night and I need like sugar.
Yes.
I'm like a little kid that now has a credit card. Like,
Yeah, totally.
it's bad.
Yeah. Lucid Casualty is asking me what I think
Oh,
about source field. Yeah, we've got some questions coming. The
I
source
know
field.
the next, yeah, do that one and then I love the next one too. Oh, they asked that same question in my chat earlier.
Oh, good. So you can. Okay,
Same
so
exact.
cool. The source field one or the one after? Oh
Oh
no,
no,
you're.
please don't go on.
I know it's pausing. Um, so
Mm,
okay, there. So if I understand the source field correctly, because I really haven't read about it, it's just like my own experience through meditation and what I'm interpreting that to mean, is a place that you drop into where it's like the beginning of creation. So it's like the 0 point field. From there, everything can be created from that space. And I feel like when you do meditate, you can get to that space. And then like another aspect of meditation, especially if you're trying to manifest, would be that you go into meditation and you just get really quiet and centered. And then a lot of times you will get messages or guidance, so sometimes we ask for things, but also we'll get guidance or messages like little flashes of the future and potential timelines like I was talking about earlier. And when you drop into that source field and you get to that like 0 point, then you become like a master manifester or in co-creation, and really can put your intention and your vibration out, like it emanates out to kind of give a signal, to the universe and the energy in the future of your intentions and what you would like. And then the way I see it's kind of like a magnet, but all these different particles come at you, energetically speaking. Whenever anything in our life happens, it always first sources in the energy and it comes at us and then it comes into our physical reality. So there's ways to shift, bend, and alter time, especially the future, by tapping into your highest timeline, and you can get there through the meditation. So somebody's asking, does it take practice to meditate? Yeah, and there's different types of meditation. So even 3 beautiful breaths is a form of a meditation, or running is a form of a meditation. And we drop into that space when we're being creative and we get like lost in art or a daydream. But yeah, for me, I mean, my meditations typically are all about like quieting and clearing my mind and raising to a higher frequency, so up and popping into a different dimension. And for that, it did take me a little bit of time and practice. So just, but breathing is the key, like essential element. Wouldn't you say, Celeste? Like breathing is definitely a part of quieting the mind, the body, and the spirit, and also it balances your energy system and your hormones and your pH, like everything. So we're out of
I don't
retrograde.
want to scroll anymore because that's whenever the chat messed up. But like the one question that I got was which I might try to scroll in a little bit, but not yet because it was like that's when it paused. But do you know anything of the number 144000, like that number, like
Yeah,
144? Someone asked that.
like okay, so I'm just getting, it's reminding me of like an angelic number. So of course there's angel numbers in numerology, but I feel like it's a powerful number. I'm just seeing, they're just showing like, I'm seeing like bands of angels. So and that's like a pivotal number. Maybe that's the number earlier we were talking about, like a tipping point number. I don't even know if that's it, but it feels like when there's 1,000 or 144,000 coming together, it's a very impactful force on the earth. So,
It
and
said something about that number in the Bible as well. I think the number 144, and then I've dreamt about it before too. And then I used to see that number a lot, so I know that it is a significant number, like
yeah,
12 times 12, 144, and like it's like but I don't know. It's like I'm actually researching this number, so if anyone has any answers about 144, like please. I've been
yeah.
like literally looking into this number for like 100 years. Like, what does this mean?
Right, right. And Kiki's asking, hi Kiki, she's asking, is it 144,000 light workers? And I think that, yeah, all of us here on Earth, it could be like all of us joining together as light workers. But the vision I just saw was a band of angels over the earth. So higher vibrational beings over the earth coming together. So yeah, I don't know. That's a mystery too. I haven't really, like you said, you're researching it. I haven't really looked into it at all, but when I saw
The
it,
reason
like super powerful. You can feel it.
the reason it stuck out to me was years ago, like I dreamt of it, and then ever since then, oh, and then also my dad's birthday, my aunt's birthday, like a lot of numbers just line up to be, and then my birthday is double 144, so
Oh, wow.
it's like 228 or something like that. And then my dad's is 441 and my aunt's is um some the same thing, like 144. I don't know. It's just there's all these synchronicities with that number,
Yeah,
and so I'm just also looking into it, but I don't, and I know it's in the Bible, like you can, and it does say something about 144,000, but I don't know. So honestly, I don't know if you guys have any answers, you can type them in. It's probably
yeah.
more what Amy's saying.
Oh, okay. Kiki says that if she's not mistaken, there's 144,000 light workers ascending to help the ascension process, and that would make a lot of sense. That would make, because it's a, what I got, like, it's like really impactful number. When that many come together, it brings so much force with it. So
Here's
yeah.
two. We have two in here plus 49 more live. We
Together.
just need 144 whatever, 1,000 more.
Yeah, let's equal it. We'll hit that.
Activate yourselves. Go meditate. Hurry up.
Oh, love Callie saying she's a former JW, and the meaning of 144 million is that they're anointed to come down to help Earth, and then Jesus is a part of it. So
I
I don't.
know that, like, with the Jehovah's Witness, that's like I've had them tell me that, but it's more than just that one sect, I think, of religion, because it's not,
Like so
you know what
powerful.
I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like more than, but I do know what you're talking about, because I met this lady and she was a Jehovah's Witness, and I used to get lunch with her, and because I love hearing about all religions,
yeah,
so
me
I'd
too.
go hear about the religion, and she told me that basically, yeah, the 144,000, but that's just like one part because Bible is a big, um, big book with lots of different sects. So
Yeah, yeah. And Kiki says she'll send it to us once she gets the source. Yeah, maybe we can do a post on it so everybody that's on here can get the update. Yeah, that would be really good. That would be awesome. So, somebody's asking if there's any insight on flying dreams, as in I'm flying without any devices. Oh, okay. Literally though, like in my experience, I had a few flying dreams when I was younger, and now I've come to realize that I was leaving the body. So it kind of just depends. A lot of times when we sleep, we do leave the physical body, and not all of us will remember it, but some of us do. So you can leave, or I think also if you want to interpret it, it would mean freedom, like wanting to be free, and also if you are one who really likes the lighter frequencies, like being in the air type of a situation. So energetically speaking, if you're not always grounded, you might find yourself wanting to fly. But yeah, so those are some of the things that I guess I would say from my personal experience. I don't know if you've had any dreams about flying, Celeste, or if you have see another question on there.
Well, another question is, please, how do I understand my angels or universe better? I asked for guidance, and I feel like the guidance I asked is mixed. I mixed between yes and no, and then someone said astral projection.
Okay.
I haven't had any like flying dreams that I can remember in a long, long time. And then someone said, what is a light worker? It's never direct my angel. Oh, and then the person said, it's never direct. Are my angels confused? I think that's more for Amy.
Oh, okay, yeah. So no, they're not. Well, let me not do it as a rating. Let me just talk generally. So you need to get your energy clear so that when you ask it, your vibration is matching your thoughts and the question that comes either through your mind or your mouth, however you're asking it. And then sit really quietly and wait for the answers. And sometimes we have to wait before we ask it again. So a lot of times we get really impatient, or we'll ask things a different way. And especially if you're just starting to communicate with your angels, you want to be very clear with your questions and maybe ask like one at a time. So sometimes we'll get really impatient, and then we'll start to tack other things onto the question, and that will confuse it. So, okay.
I'm just gonna get a drink
Yeah.
really fast.
Okay. Yeah. Get a drink. I know you've been talking forever, even before I got on. But so you could be confusing like crossing signals that way. So just be really clear and direct, and also feel free to it's really important to like meditate beforehand or do some sound healing so that your vibration is clean and strong, and then that way when they connect, you're getting the messages very clearly. So when we connect with our guides and angels, we actually are bringing our vibration up to another frequency, and they're dropping down a little bit to make that connection come through. That's why it's super easy for them to give us signs and messages in the physical world, like through angel numbers, or you're driving and you see a sign, or you're reading something and you feel the truth of it, like that's a strong message for you. So because then they can come more into the physicality. So yeah, that's kind of what I would say. Let's see. Okay, anything else? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. See. Okay, anything else, Celeste? There was something where, light workers. Celeste, do you want to answer what a light worker is?
A light worker? I think a light worker is just someone who bears light like wherever they go. So it could be when no one's looking, no one even knows like besides you what you do. Whether you're walking around and you see trash and you could just pick up the trash on the ground, or you see someone that's poor and you could just buy them food, or someone that needs help. And basically, wherever there's a little bit of darkness, you just shine your light. So to me, that's what a light worker is. So anyone on this whole chat could be a light worker.
Oh, yeah.
It just takes within you to, activate it, and, instead of thinking of yourself, think of others. That's what light working is to me.
Yes,
I would
absolutely.
scroll and read more comments. I just don't want the chat to pause. That's why I'm like kind of silent. I'm like, "Ugh." I
Okay.
don't want it to like. I'm
Let
like
me.
every time I touch it, it like acts crazy.
I know it's been like really weird. I don't know why it does that sometimes when we
Yeah,
do.
and then someone said, "Is anyone else having internet connection problems?" Thank you, both angels. Um,
Let me just
Yeah,
gently.
you guys can ask more questions if you want. Just like push them through, and we'll keep answering. But not
Yeah.
personal, just more like for the collective of the chat.
So
Indeed,
if
we
you
are what
can,
we do when no one is watching. What? Oh, sorry. What can you tell me about Earth Angels or near-death experience survivors? Blocked dreams, not remembering.
okay,
So
yeah, that's really cool. Do you want to answer that, or do you want me to, Celeste, the one about like earth angels and near-death
you can
survivors?
answer.
Yeah, okay. So there's different frequencies of beings, so souls or spirits that come to Earth, and some of them come from a realm that's around Earth that's more angelic, and so they come here and they're here for a specific mission and purpose, which is a little bit bigger and beyond themselves to help. So you'll find Earth angels really want to be peacemakers. You'll find them like a lot of healers or therapists or working with animals or the environment. So always just trying to bring positive energy, healing, and revitalization of um, like revitalization of like positivity, I guess you could say. So like where places like where there's I'm hearing like deforestation, so where the forests have all been knocked down, so then like rebuilding the land, rebuilding the ecosystem, and just creating peace. And really their earth angels are really their like main intention and focus is on the earth, so anything that's about the ecosystem or the inhabitants of earth. And also from some information that I've got and my friend who channels too, their DNA is a little bit different. So their DNA strands a little bit different, and they hold a different frequency in their physical body even. And so there's the Earth Angels, and then something about
There can be different levels too. Like if you think about the levels through life, like kindergarten, middle school, high
yeah,
school, college. And so there's levels of beings on the planet that incarnate here that are at all different levels of consciousness. And so sometimes you can meet a really high consciousness being that is like a Buddha or something like that. And because of their frequency, like they don't have any, like usually like they don't have any sexual desire. They don't have any really earthly desires. They're more like elevated on a spiritual level of just pure healer or pure mind, body, and soul. And they could be, say, like the college level or something. And then you have maybe kindergarten level that could be, they're like party every night. And then they go through life 10 years and then they're all of a sudden they're college. And then by the end of your life, you could be the highest level or whatever. So there's all different levels of souls that are here, and then whatever frequency you're on, you'll usually attract more towards those souls. So if you're at a college level, and I always use metaphors because they help people understand, then you'll attract more of those frequencies. But they say you are like the five closest people to you. So if you're hanging out with, like drug heads or whatever, you're going to be more like them. If you're hanging out with doctors, you're going to be more like them. So you just have to specify who you're around. So if you're trying to be more helpful, be, the term an earth angel or more spiritual or ascend on a more conscious level, you have to put yourself around more spiritual people, and then you can up your level from kindergarten, middle school, high school, just like you go through life. So the goal of life is to get out of the ring of samsara or Maya and see past the illusion so you can go and reincarnate to another higher level that's probably not on Earth.
right.
You don't want to get stuck here, which you
Yeah.
can. Even at a high level, you can go back down as well as you can go up.
Yeah, you
So,
totally can. You totally can. Welcome. There's a bunch of new people popping on. Yeah, late for a school night. My kids have the day off tomorrow, so it's like kind of, hey, whatever, whatever's going on. There was a question that there was a few like really good questions that came through, you guys. So let me just kind of scroll back. I hope I don't glitch it out. Um, there was one about or a near-death experience survivors. I haven't had that personally happen to me. There's a lot of books and stuff about that. But there was somebody was talking about the chakras, and that I don't know, I can't find it. Anyways, that there are 7 major chakras. So there's more than 7 chakras. So they say they keep hearing about there's more than 7. Yes, there are. There's 7 major chakras, which are the ones that are the main colors of the rainbow that you typically hear about from the root up to the crown. But then you have your soul star chakra that's above your crown. You have the earth star chakra that's like below the feet, a few feet into the earth. There's transpersonal chakras that are located in the energy field, like in the aura. We have minor chakras like the palms of our hands, our ears. There's little minor chakras that go all the way around the band of the head. So yeah, you just want to look, like, maybe study a little bit more about the chakra system. But we have thousands of chakras from major to minor to transpersonal. So so if you are hearing there's more than 7, yes, there are. But the more commonly known ones are the 7 major chakras, and that's typically where people start when they're working with our chakra system. So, so yeah, okay. Let's see. Somebody was asking also about working while they sleep. Celeste, have you ever had experience with that, where you know that you're working out of body and in dream time, like while you're sleeping?
So there's like in Chinese medicine, they say like the liver holds this thing called the hun. So it holds these 7 hun, which is like this ethereal spirit or soul that like travels while you sleep. And so they say like basically if you have, which this kind of is off topic with the question, but it's also not. So they say like if you have really vivid dreams or bad dreams or like something, then your hun isn't resting. Basically, it's traveling. It's like going crazy, like, and it's you're not getting restful sleep. But if you're at peace in your mind, body, and soul, then when you go to sleep, these hun or your liver hun, your soul, your ethereal spirit, it actually rests. And then you have really peaceful sleep. You don't dream and you won't remember as much. And I notice when I'm going through something traumatic, like I'll have more vivid dreams. They'll be crazy. Or when I'm really peaceful, I'll just sleep through the night soundly and my dreams will be pleasant. So I definitely think that we can do work in our sleep while we're sleeping, but it also has to do with what's going on in your daily life, and then your dreams can be interpreted um, into like metaphors. So whatever you're seeing in your dream, you can really relate it to something that might be really deep in your subconscious and you don't actually know that you even feel this way. And if you go to a dream interpreter or something like that, which I don't know if that has to do with the astral projection, but that's kind of how I see dreaming. And sometimes if you wake up and you just feel like you're not rested, that's probably because your liver hun was off like traveling, going crazy, and you need to like relax and de-stress and take a bath and some meditation because you need to sleep. When you're sleeping, you should get deep, deep sleep. You don't want to be like traveling crazy, like, you know what I mean? Because we're an
Yeah,
earth body right now.
yeah.
Like, you have to sleep good, like, to be like healthy. But I don't know if that like answered the question, but that's how I see it.
No, it does, and I love getting your perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like how we both come from different backgrounds to really merge it together. But because she was asking, like, how can I make sure that I'm working while I'm sleeping? And so I was gonna say, like, the times where I know that I was out of body working while I was sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
I could tell because I was tired the next day, and I wouldn't really recommend it. So it was nothing that I set up, like, hey, I'm gonna work while I sleep tonight. It just happened, and it was all like the times that I can specifically remember were when there were big, like, worldwide events that were coming. So in the morning, I'd wake up and there would be like all this stuff on the news or all over social media, and it was like, oh, now I know why I was doing what I was doing in my sleep last night, you know. And so sometimes you remember it and sometimes you don't. But yeah, you can, there's so many different ways to sleep. There's so many different perspectives, or not even perspectives, but actual meanings to dreams. Like, is it a message? Is your body processing something? Are you having a visitation? You know, is it subconscious? Like all of this stuff. So yes, yes, yes. I love that, how you brought in the Chinese medicine. I think it's so fascinating. So
Well, I never knew any of that either, but like after studying it and feeling it and looking at other people, you can really relate to it. And you're like, oh, like now I realize like the goal at night is to really get that deep, deep sleep. And so if you are saying you wake up and you're kind of like, like, or you don't feel good in the morning or something, then something in your body is unbalanced, like on a not unbalanced, but you're probably off doing all this work, but at some level your soul needs to like
Rest.
rest, like come back in, like stay in your body. Like you don't need to go
Yeah.
off traveling for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like
It's a lot of work. Uh-huh.
it's a lot of work, and then you get
Yeah.
up and you have to, be present that whole day for another 8 or 20 or however many hours you're up for. And then you're tired the whole day and you can't operate in your daily life. Because if think about it, if you're working at night, if this liver hun, whatever is traveling at night, and then you're traveling all during the day, what time does that actually give you to like rest? Like,
Yeah.
none.
So it can happen, but I wouldn't recommend it. And if it does, make sure you like sleep a lot, catch up on your rest. So, for
Yeah, like
sure.
give yourself 16 hours that day, like 8 hours for the travel, then 8 other hours for real sleep. Like, oh
Yeah.
man.
There's a lot of fun questions on here. Oh, thank you for reminding everybody. I do have a book on chakras. I have 3 books on Amazon, and right now, if you leave a review on them, then I'm offering a free 1-question reading. Just try to. I can get so many people sending me DMs and emails and talking like review the book. But if you could go on to Amazon and leave it so other people can see it, then I'm offering a free 1-question reading. So thank you for reminding on that. Let's see. I'm just trying to look, and I know like I'm
Also,
trying
you
to
can
scroll
go
down.
in, you can go in me and Amy's bios and follow our YouTubes. We
Yeah.
might start doing these more too, and like you want to make sure to follow them because we're gonna upload these lives onto the YouTube. So if you missed it, you can go catch it there, and you have to subscribe to both because there'll be sometimes like I did half on mine that would go over there, then this half on it. So you have to subscribe to both.
Yeah. Hopping
But
back.
where's your link? Because you have your business link. So how do they find yours?
Well, my YouTube, it was channelingtheangels.com, but now it's putting people into my website, so I need to fix that. It was for our last event. I pushed it over. But if you go to amysikarskie.com, you can get into YouTube that way, or it's YouTube/Amy Sikarskie, which I can just like spell my name for everybody because it's quite a different name. And so then, or just like Google or search it on YouTube, and there's past lives and there's going to be more lives and other like channel messages and stuff like that. So it's just really fun
Just like a
stuff.
lot of good stuff. And like
Yeah.
whatever's going on the planet that people have questions for, we might like eventually do more lives, or there's always something going on that's more in alignment with the present moment of that energy exactly, which is always shifting. So like this is this energy's
Yeah.
conversation, but in three
Always.
years from now, if you still want to keep up with it and with everything, that's how you would, is through these channels, which is
Yeah.
really cool that we can do.
I know. I love it. I love connecting. It's so fun just to like connect with like-minded people. It's like, whoa, it's just blows my mind. Thanks, Eileen. She's talking about the books and stuff. So thank you. So somebody was talking, how you're talking about shifting energy. And so if I scroll up, they were talking about, I think there were 2 questions about the energy shifting on Earth right now. And so I wanted to get your perception or like what you may have felt from that or heard or just got in a meditation. And then also somebody was saying that there was a timeline of something happening in July. So have you heard of that?
I feel like the energy is shifting to where like our thoughts are just really rapidly manifesting it, and it's important for everyone to stay really energetically pure and happy because we're getting to a point where we're actually becoming super if you're tuned in, you can actually read people's thoughts and know what they're thinking without them having to talk and their vibration. And so it's really important that you keep your thoughts on a higher level because it'll get to the point where you think something like the notebook earlier and it just appears. And so whatever frequency you're on, we're really stepping from that dense linear matter where everything is actual timeline. And if you guys haven't noticed, or have noticed that time is like really, really fast now. So 1 year can seem like a month, couple months, because it's definitely speeding up, and which is in alignment with all of our thoughts also being produced at a faster and faster rate with the law of attraction and manifestation. So if you're imprinting and everything's like a movie projection and like a holographic projection, everything that you're thinking, like say you watch a movie and it's projected on the screen, and if you see it like something that's fake, like say the Titanic, you're sad during it, or say it's a Jim Carrey movie, you're laughing during it, and at the end you walk out, you know that's all a movie. So that's exactly how our lives are. So everything essentially is a movie that we're projecting from our thoughts. Our thoughts are the screen, and you're projecting it out, and then we're just living it. And it was in slower motion, but if you can imagine a slow motion movie getting sped up to normal speed or even faster speed. So now I feel like we're at an accelerated rate with how fast we're projecting and how fast things are manifesting, and also the movement of linear time into a more, what, it's not linear, it would be more like where there is no time, where things are
Yeah.
just merging and they just happen more in an instant level, and all of a sudden you look at time and it's like, okay, 10 years have passed, and then now all of a sudden, boom, your dream was there, and everything you thought of before, it all of a sudden appears, and you're like, what the heck? Like, it's been 10 years and it feels like one. So that's where, I forget, what was the original question? What was the original question? I just want to make sure that I answered it.
So late, my mind is like, ooh, all over the place. Something about, I'm scrolling.
Scrolling back up.
Oh, it was about the
Oh,
time, about the shift in energy and something about happening like a big shift in July. But there's a lot of people talking about they're getting messages and downloads about like huge shifts coming through, and so just wanted to get your perspective on that or
the shift, I don't know anything about the shift in July. I just know personally in my own life what I've seen, and that's how you really look at it. There's 8 billion
Mhm.
people. When I'm driving on the road and there's a million other cars there, and I think everyone's in their own movie. You're in your own movie, I'm in my own movie, we're all the freaking stars of our own movie. Like, and so with you being the star of your own movie, you just need to project the movie that you want. And so that's the key here, is you want to think about what you want, and now I sound like Abraham Hicks, and not what you don't want, because that
That's
also can
true.
manifest.
Yes, but that's true. That's so. So there was a big thing like going on a little bit ago about this event or this big shift, and it was supposed to happen in the first quarter of the year, and so then so I was kind of like like I hadn't really felt that, and then I watched somebody else's, which I don't really like I was saying earlier, I don't have like a lot of time in my day to day, so I was just guided to watch this little clip, and I loved what they said, and it really summed up my like what I felt to be my truth, and that's that we are always shifting to a higher, as a collective, like we're raising the vibration, right? So that's like what the light workers are here to do, the star seeds, the earth angels, all of that. So some people, if they've been like right here in this timeline, and then this big surge of energy comes in, it will propel them up higher, and for them it will feel like this huge shift came. But there's then other people that were already up here. Do you know what I mean? So like right now
Yes.
on earth we're overlapping, we're moving from a 3D to a 5D, and it's a really amazing kind of awesome, cool space and time right now because we're in the middle of this transition and we get to see it. And the way that I see it in my personal life is like I'll think like in the past, like where I was and where I am now, or people that I've totally forgotten about, like from childhood or years ago. And I'm like, whoa, like the way is that your life just will completely switch to a whole new, it's not even like a new chapter. It feels like a whole new life. Do you know what I mean? And everything is switching into this other timeline and vibration. So for some
And
people, I
oh,
mean,
and you can feel like if it's really off too. Like you can feel like
yes,
if you're on a different timeline. Like when I switch over to a different timeline, like, because I'd say I'm on, I feel like I'm on a good one, but if I switch over to a different one, I can feel the vibration internally where I'm just like, something's like beep, 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 beep. It's almost like a radar detector or a fire alarm that goes off in my system where it's like, no, 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 no. Like it doesn't allow me anymore to go on these other paths, these other, movies, or whatever metaphor you want to use. I'll be right back in like 2 seconds, okay? I'm just
okay,
gonna
cool.
like set my phone like facing this way.
Oh yeah, you're good. But that's kind
Okay.
of like what we were talking about last night, Celeste, about synchronicities and everything lining up. So when you get an impression or intuition or a message and you follow it, then it's like everything lines up. But then if you don't, then you you learn really quick how, oh man, like things are fumbling, and I should have taken that intuition and listened to it, because now things I'm getting like roadblocks and stumbling along the way, and it's going a lot slower and everything like that. So it's just learning how to feel what it is to be in the flow or the vortex or in your highest vibrational alignment, and then create that. So we get a lot of messages and opportunities, but then we need to act on them and merge them into our physical experience here. So yes to the movie thing, Baby's saying yes. I know, I feel that too. Somebody was talking about their mother, and they were saying, I'm not going to scroll up, I don't want to mess it up, but that I feel like you were saying something like she's already crossed over, or footage, that eternity will be your highest, happiest place that you were in this life. And that could be true. I think everybody creates their own reality, especially even more physical body. So we all get to body. If you don't purify yourself, raise your vibration as a soul, then like you still get trapped on the earth or the lower realms. And so we're always cleaning ourselves
Yes.
and learning and ascending higher and higher. So I don't see it as a stagnant experience once we do physical body, but I do see it as a potential to be a beautiful experience if that's our goal and where our mind, heart, and energy is at. But if we're like trapped in guilt, fear, like really lower vibrational belief systems, we will have to work through that and clear all of that and heal that before we can raise to a higher vibration. So, but I love the idea. I feel like there is a potential, that once we leave this physical body, to have a beautiful afterlife. Absolutely. So, and whatever, for everybody, that's going to look completely different. It's very, unique and individual to everybody, what their idea of a perfect heaven would be. So. Yes. Some really fun questions, guys. Thank you. Um, where is the spirit burning man in your chakra vortex deep with the red dog site? I'm not sure. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, Celeste, are you on Instagram? Yes, yes. So if you guys look at the pinned message at the bottom, Celeste is divine ethereal energy. Yeah, so pop on over to
Divine
her.
ethereal energy, spiritual news,
Hot
like
news.
acupuncture. I literally have like me and Amy were listing all of our accounts one day, and like
We have quite a
there's
few.
like literally, so I'm actually getting, I run a couple other people's accounts, and then I have all my accounts. They're actually texting me right now. It's so funny.
Like multitasking, yeah. But I love.
They're like, yeah. I'm so lucky this online community. We've just like, that's another thing about like frequencies and energy. Once you reach a certain frequency, you start to match up. It's like you start to match up. Like someone was saying how they're say someone's a drug user. This is like a bad example of it. So I'll use a bad example and a good example. No matter what town they said they go to, they find these people and they end up doing the same thing. But say that person, they want to raise their frequency, they go to a different town, or if you raise your frequency enough, you start finding these other people. So that's what I feel like. I guess I don't know. My friend gave me that example the other day. She's like talking about someone like, oh, like no matter where they go, this is what happens. It's because they're on that certain frequency. So this is actually a real life example that I'm using. But for me and Amy, and all these other people like Peace of Light Lindsay and all these other people that I've met through Instagram that I talk on the phone with and even work with in person. We're all connected on the same frequencies, and you start matching up. So you could be like alone for so many years, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 and then all these people are around you. And that's kind of
Yes.
what this year, 2018, has been for me. I'm just like, whoa, and those people will impact you in a deep, deep way, like a long lost friend or something. You just know. Like I'm thinking of my mentor, like when they leave, you're like, oh my gosh, like you're like very affected by these people. But the good thing is there's 8 billion people. So when you're on a certain frequency, since we have social media, I think it was you, Amy, that I was talking to, how it's like, a web, and then it's almost like the web, if you're on a certain frequency, you ascend to a certain level and then you match up. It's like bing, 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 you meet all these people.
Yeah, totally.
So that's like super cool.
Kind of like everybody on the call now, like we're all vibrating at the same vibration, or you wouldn't even be here on, the live. So it's like you just find your little soul tribe or your family, your friends and stuff, and support each other. And sometimes the life of a light worker can be it can feel a little bit isolated at times because we're kind of like scattered all around the earth. So then to be able to come together and like connect like this, it's so nice to feel so you're not alone. Other people understand your terminology. they get what we're talking about, like parallel timelines and past lives and energy.
Yeah.
It's like so nice. So thanks everybody for being here, because I just feel like, then we can support each other. Like, hey, I'm really not kind of like feeling so alone anymore right now. So that's
It
really nice.
really it helps so much, like in a world where there's so many different energies and frequencies. When you match up to one, it's like, thank you, the man upstairs, like for putting these people in my life. Like, where have
Yeah,
they been?
yeah.
So,
Totally. It's like I needed that connection. I was just like telling my
yeah.
husband when we were younger and like just working our way like through school with kids and work and stuff, it was like we didn't really have a lot of time for friends, I guess, like for a connection. We were just very focused and purpose driven and like creating and learning and all of this. And now it's like so nice because I'm like, oh, now I can breathe and now let's connect. And then it's just like the right people find you. So whether it's like a neighbor or a colleague or just like a friend through social media, or like you were saying, like your mentor, it's like you will find the right people to help you, and then you can open up to those relationships. So it's
And
really
you really, to find these people, you also have to live with this open heart.
yes,
So we're talking about be careful who you share your heart with, but also for certain people, you have to completely open your heart and and trust that. So, um, whenever you're living with an open heart and you match someone with an open heart, you can feel that share of energy that you're not holding off, or like, oh, like, and you can also feel when people are closed off too. And so that's something,
yeah,
like if you're looking for people to match up on a frequency or to find like higher group of friends or whatever it is, you have to work on yourself internally and open your heart, become the most beautiful person God made you to be, to where you can match up those people who you're really dreaming of. Because if you're this icky person all the time, like, and a bad person behind closed doors, like you're nice out in public, but then you're like, then that also is going to reflect on the vibrations you're really attracting. And it could be why you keep attracting not so great people, if
right.
that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. No, it does. I'm reading some of these comments. So this is a Vogel Star of David. It's a quartz crystal with dichromatic glass in the middle. It looks like green just because that's what it's reflecting right now, but it's magenta. And we have these crystals like in different stones, and you can find them on my website, amysikarskie.com. But you program them in a specific way, and they boost your energy field. So I have a few of them, and this is my favorite. It's my Christmas gift, so it's gold. And then somebody was saying, oh, this thing about like experience a lot of not so pleasant experience with spiritual snobbery. So I've also experienced there's so much spiritual snobbery. It's hard to find true teachers who don't manipulate. And I agree. Like I've even seen, like I've seen, I think we've all seen that. So I would just say like be really discerning with who you listen to and always trust yourself. Like nobody's better than
And
anybody else,
in
you know?
spirit, if you meet a real spiritual master, they have, which I'll say that I met one this year, and I've never met someone like that. I've met two probably in my whole life, and they almost have no ego.
Yes.
They live from a place of pure love and giving, and like I am no means like and all like would I don't know would even look at myself on that level at all. So, but I've met people on this level, and so you can really resonate if you meet a mentor or a master or someone, because it's almost like when they leave or if they're not around, you can feel it, like that they're not on the earth anymore. That's
Yeah.
how powerful their energy was. Like it changes the whole planet.
Yeah.
And so spiritual snobbery would be someone more who's like, I'm a spiritual master and I hold this sacred energy. Like, that's spiritual snobbery, is
Yeah.
actually saying that you have some, that, like, that's very, like, you didn't hear
This is
any of the
right.
masters going around, like Buddha or Jesus or Paramahansa, or like any of them, like going around, or the people that I met, they don't go around saying that. So that's the difference. Like, if you hear someone tooting their own horn, then that's, I think, spiritual snobbery. If that's what you're talking about, I don't know.
I think that is, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Like I just like to share my examples and like experiences and hear from other people too. And I feel like we're all in this together. Do you know what I mean? And I also
yeah.
feel like I teach a lot of classes and go on lives and answer questions. You know what I mean? Just to like connect everybody and so we can all
But that's
support
not
each other.
spiritual snobbery. That's like being
No.
a light worker.
Yeah, that's like what I'm saying. Like, just like I'm not better. Like, we're all in it together. Do you know what I mean?
We're
Like,
all
there's,
equal.
yeah, exactly. So I would just stay away from people because if anybody's coming across like that, it's just like all ego. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of the exact opposite.
I've met people like that, a couple. So I know what you're talking about, and that's why I know the difference too, because you'll meet the ones, and they don't even have to say a word. They
Yeah.
literally could be dead silent, and their energy is so powerful it can change a whole room of, a million people. So that's the difference. It,
Oh yeah.
um,
Oh, thanks, Elijah. I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, you'll know.
I don't see any of the comments because I don't want the chat to pause if you want to read them off, because I'm just, or like any questions, because I'm
Oh,
just like way
really?
up. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't want to like I don't want to like mess it up, so I'm just like, I'm
okay.
way
Let me read a
back
few.
up.
Scroll back. Just to find some that are like a topic we can chat about. Let's see. Somebody's saying, like those heartfelt connections with people you meet by chance or at work with, or that you work with, or or that you worked with in the past, like people that are just passing through. Like then that we were talking about, like raising your vibration and that you will get connected. Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
exactly it. And sometimes they'll come in your life just for a minute, but it will be so profound. Or it's just like that little lift that you need to get you through the day, and others will be
Mhm.
in your life at more permanent level. So let's see.
Yeah, like it can be as simple as going through a grocery line and the clerk at that store just being
Yes.
so overly nice to you, or like, it could be the littlest thing that people are grateful for.
Yeah. Or you being nice to the clerk, yeah,
Yeah.
it's find those people that are open to that vibe. So Annie said, can you be on a different timeline than the people you live with? I feel as though we don't vibe anymore. We're like strangers. And only the dog understands me. Laugh out loud.
Oh, what did it
Yes.
say? Only the dog understands me?
Yeah. Yeah. And the answer is yes. I think I've experienced that. And like luckily or fortunately in my like little family unit, we've all been able to get on the same timeline, but friends or extended family, and even like we separate for a time and then come back and it all works out. So, yeah, it's a ebbing and a flowing, you know what I mean? And so also like just like keeping in your heart that you want the best for everybody. And so if they're at a certain place, that's okay, but you need to ascend or go into your path and then you can come back together. Like just no judgment, just supporting everybody where they are, but also having boundaries and being discerning so that somebody else doesn't distract you or pull you down when you're trying to rise above something. So yeah. Let's see. Somebody's seeing a lot of angel numbers. Yeah, so if you see any angel numbers like 111, 123, 33, 444, all of these, they hold specific vibrations and everybody can interpret them a little bit different. But I love Sacred Scribes Blogspot. I think
That's what
I've
I always tell
Yeah,
people. That's so funny.
girl, it's like her stuff is so on point and it's very
It
thorough.
is so good.
Yeah, if you're seeing a number over and over and over again, I would go to her website, Sacred Scribes Blogspot, and just look it up. So,
Jolene Sacred Scribes. And then you
yeah,
type in the number, like Jolene Sacred Scribes, and then 247 or whatever you're seeing.
yes, yes. Because you can, and like even, like a lot of people are seeing the more commonly known angel numbers that are repetitive, like 111, 22, 334, all that. But also, like some people will get really interesting numbers like 127 or, just something random, but they're seeing it over and over again. And that would really have a specific message for them.
I
So,
like the really specific ones because then it's like you get the exact message you need. And like sometimes if you look, if you see it over and over and over like 4 times in a row, then that's definitely a message for you.
yeah, yeah. Um, Okay, I'm just reading some. This is a big paragraph, so I'm just going to read it. Eileen asks, Amy, have you ever come into contact with people who are threatened by your light or try to dim your light? If so, how do you deal with them, or do you just find that it doesn't happen at all? I mean, I've had that in my life. You just don't vibe with certain people, or they're kind of in a lower vibration, so they don't want to like be around you, or I don't know how to describe it. But I've also been that way myself. Like when I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, I don't want to be around people that are extra happy. Like I'm going through something right
Yes,
now.
that's
Oh, can you
so
tell me?
true.
So yeah, but if it's a chronic situation where it's like always going on and your personalities just don't match, I just would separate as much as you can, physically from that. So, but also like as light workers, I do feel like sometimes we do get more challenged because we're here to bring light. So then we bump into darkness because we're like helping to clear that or whatever. And also maybe we have a little bit more challenges in our life because I don't know, like I don't want to get like all weird with this conversation, but like maybe there's some energies out there that don't want to see the light, the light. Hold on one second, my phone paused. So yeah, so I've seen it, and you just rise above it, and you learn to pivot away from it, and just kind of. I think this comes back to like knowing yourself and getting to understand your energy a little bit more, and just being, I don't know, like how would I say it, strong in who you are. You know what I mean? So just having some self confidence. So yeah. How about you, Celeste? Have you experienced that or?
What was the question again?
Just like, when you're trying to do light working and then you run into people maybe that are trying to block that or pull you down or,
I
you know.
put once someone's energy, if it's off out of alignment with mine, I literally almost like not trying to be mean, but act like they're a ghost or something. Like it's just
You're
like
just like,
but their
no,
frequency doesn't come near mine anymore because
yeah,
there's no reason that we should ever have to lower our frequency or feel like a certain way for someone else. There's
yeah,
just once you raise your frequency and you feel good and you want to feel good and you make up your mind, I'm going to feel good, then I'm not going to feel bad for you. I'm not going to feel bad for anyone. And so if those people come in and they're still dealing with their stuff, it's not necessarily my thing unless they come to me as like a this is
like wanting
different. See, I'm
help.
talking about two different things. Like a patient is different. I will help someone, to the end of the earth if they come to me with open arms and loving. But I think this is more if someone comes to you and they're actually trying to dim your light or what they call an energy vampire, which is actually sucking your light out from you. And so this isn't so much like, say, one of your clients, Amy, comes to you and they're really, you're helping them. That's different than, say, someone coming and like bullying or, you know what I
Right.
mean? Where you're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, like they're not a client, you're not helping them. They're more just this like entity that's like trying to suck your energy because that's what things do. When think about like if you're think about like a car battery that goes dead and it needs another battery to jumpstart it. So an energy vampire, in a sense, will have like a car. Their light has dimmed so much that their battery's dead. It just goes whoop. So then your car pulls up next to theirs. They want to plug into you, actually take your energy, and then they're started up again. And now you have a little less energy. So you just have to learn to be really discerning with
Yeah.
who you're open to. And like I don't know, I like to feel good. So if you don't make me like feel good, then I don't talk to you. Basically.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
trying to
just
sound
something we
mean,
deal with.
but
Yeah. Well, that's it's boundaries and discernment, and it's something that we deal
yeah.
with, right? Especially if you're an empath, then you feel and you'll feel your battery drain a lot more because your vibration as an empath. Oh, we only have 2 minutes left. It's gonna cut off in a second. But is we start to pick on the vibration of other people. So it's really important to stay in a high vibrational field. It's like
So you
where we
can do
want to.
your work.
Yes. Yeah. That's why we're
Because if
here.
people take it from you and you're a light worker, then it actually lowers your vibration and you can't do your work. So
Exactly.
that's what it really is. You have to
It's a
stay in your
distraction.
high vibes so you can help other people.
Yes.
And if
So
you
I'm
have
just
things constantly attaching to you, especially like I get this a lot with people saying that family members that they live with, or people that like it's not just like someone that they see for 10 minutes, it's someone that's constantly around them. You know, sometimes it's better if you actually get out of the situation. Because at the end of the
yeah.
day, if they're plugging into you and you're like a light worker or you're saying an empath, what are you going to do when you're completely drained all the time? You know, you have to do
You
something
have to
about that.
take self-care and be really discerning with who you let in, people that value your time and lift you up. So it's really, really important for sure. And we just have a few seconds left. So thanks everybody
Uh-oh.
for joining. Yeah. So
That
we should
flew
do
by.
so fun, yeah. And pop on over to our YouTubes. We'll put this up. We have other things on there. And then if you have any questions for resources, just you can DM us. But yeah, so Celeste is at Divine Ethereal Energy, Spiritual News, or spiritual.news, right? And then I'm at Starlight.